Welcome back. So here's a question for you. How's your blood pressure this morning? That's a good question. I'm sure we all want the answer to. Did you know May is actually National High Blood Pressure Education Month? Well, we have all the tips for you. Thanks for joining me this morning, joining all of us this morning. And now we have Mim Gaines here, who's going to be breaking it down for all of us. Blood pressure. And I know one thing is we all know someone that has high blood pressure. What can you do to bring that level down?
You're right. In Alabama, especially because we're in the hypertension belt, another word for high blood pressure. So getting that blood pressure down is important. And what we really recommend is staying on your medicine if you're on medicine. If you're not on medicine yet, then we're looking at lifestyle changes, which means diet and exercise.
Right. And obviously sticking to a clean diet can always be a challenge for some people, and also getting motivated to do, that 30 minutes a day of cardio can also be difficult as well. But there have to be certain ways that you can also avoid getting high blood pressure, even if you don't have it already.
Right. Yeah. And some of the interesting studies that are coming out shows that people who eat a lot of salt and have hypertension in their family line will probably develop hypertension because of their diet.
Right.
Which is not always how we've always thought about it.
And speaking of diet, we have some great foods here today, and one thing that you mentioned is salt.
Right.
And that is an issue for a lot of people. Some people have a heavy hand when it comes to seasoning, me included. But how can you cut down on that sodium but still have food that's enjoyable?
And one of the things, I'm glad you mentioned the salt shaker. Another big source of salt in your diet, sodium in your diet, is when you eat out. And we do eat out quite a bit. So those processed foods and eating out tend to add more sodium than we realize.
Gotcha.
One thing that we always teach in trying to lower the salt intake is to be very careful with the pork that you eat. But let me be very clear, it's not, we're not talking about fresh pork. We're talking about pork that's been seasoned, like ham and sausage. So today I brought some pork. It's actually a Danish dish, frikadelle, and it's a Danish dish that uses the fresh ground pork, and it shows you how you can have a healthy meal with very little salt.
It looks like a crab cake, but it's not a crab cake.
It's not a crab cake. It is, and all it is, we put some oatmeal in it because that'll give it the fiber. I actually put a little southern tint to it and put some of the bell pepper in it. This is just a plain white sauce with parsley in it to give it the little bit of the parsley flavor. So this is showing you that you can have a sauce and it's not heavy in salt.
Well, Mim, before we got back into the show, you said that it was probably going to be bland, but it's not at all.
Oh, good.
It's actually really good, a nice alternative, a healthier alternative.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much, Mim, for joining us, and I